Hi all, welcome back to another video. So in this video we will be covering something called as security. So what exactly are security groups? So security groups are a set of rules which act like a firewall for your Amazon EC2 instances controlling the both inbound and outbound. So when I say inbound is the traffic that is trying to hit the EC2 instance, like someone is trying to communicate with your EC2 and those set of rules will allow the EC2 to communicate back. So outbound traffic is nothing but uh, the, uh, the signal that is sent from the EC2. So the EC2 is trying to communicate to the internet, and you are trying to restrict or allow the traffic to uh, flow through the EC2. And when you launch an EC2, you need to assign a particular security group. So let me take you back to the console where I had initially, in my previous video, provisioned an EC2 with a particular security group. So let me go to the security group and quickly show you the rules. So at the start, we had just one rule, that is port 22, due to which I am able to log in into my instance. So let me quickly exit this instance and show you whether I will be able to play around it. Let me just try to delete this rule and try to see whether I'm able to connect to the EC2 or not. So I'm deleting this rule from the EC2 as part of the inbound rule and saving the changes. Right. So let me connect back to my EC2. So now the expectation is that it should not connect. It should throw me an error saying port 22 connection timed out, because the EC2 will refuse this connection as the firewall is not allowed with that traffic on port 22. Right. So as you can see, we are getting the uh, error as expected, as we have removed that 422 inbound rule from the security group. So let me quickly add that. Go to SSH and say anywhere and save rules. Right. So now if I try to connect back, it should allow me the connection. Right. So now that was as part of 422. So let's you know get to a use case. So let's try to install Jenkins, and let's try to open up port 8080 and see whether Jenkins gets hosted as part of this server. So for that, I have written a simple bash script which I have in my EC2 right now. The bash script looks something like this. So this can be taken up from the open internet. You have it there. So I see a mistake here, so let me quickly go there and try to get it done for you. Okay, this should work pretty fine. So let's install Jenkins now. Right, the Jenkins service has been started perfectly, and so now Jenkins is open on port 8080 by default. Okay, so let me grab the public IP of that instance and try to go to my browser and try to see if it allows me to connect to the Jenkins server. As you can see, it doesn't actually accept the connection because it will throw you an explicit connection refused, or it will say the site cannot be reached, only because port 8080 is not added as part of the security group associated with that particular EC2. As you can see, this site cannot be reached, and go to the security group and let's add port. Yeah, the custom HTTP rule, it's 8080. I'm gonna open it for the internet, save the rule. Right, so if I just refresh this page, boom, you have your Jenkins hosted onto an EC2 right now. So this is what exactly security groups do. So I showed you what exactly inbound rule does. So when you're trying to communicate to the instance, you have to allow certain ports and protocols in order to get that communication done. So what exactly is an outbound rule? So outbound rule is nothing but when the EC2 tries to communicate to the open internet. Okay, so you may ask when this actually happens. So consider you are trying to update, you are trying to run your updates onto the you know instance, or when you're trying to install Jenkins, it had to go to the internet, pick out the package from from the HTTP link and try to um, get that done. So for that you need an open internet outbound connection. That is allowed by this outbound rule. Security groups play a very major role as part of EC2 provisioning security and its firewalls. So be sure that when you are playing with security groups, try to understand when and why you have to allow these connections, and that will really get you a fair idea or a very in-depth idea on what exactly security groups are. So that's all for this video, and in the next video I'll be covering something called as EC2 tags and why we have to use. So stay tuned. Thank you.